Hey everybody, welcome to Home Based Business 101, live here in the Side Gig Gurus group. I am your host and founder of the Side Gig Gurus, Meredith, and I am super excited to be here with you. I think my video might be a little glitchy today. I'm getting some messages here from Facebook telling me to close open windows and all sorts of things. So let me take care of that a little bit and see how we're going. And then let me see who's joining us here live today and who is going to be jumping in and dropping some comments. Whether you're catching us here live with this lesson or you are catching it on the replay, I'd love for you to drop who you are, where you're from, and what you're excited to learn. Our topic tonight is how to follow up without feeling like a sleaze. Which I think is hilarious, but there's so much truth to that. How many times have you gotten ready to follow up with somebody in your business and thought to yourself, oh gosh, am I going about this the right way? Am I going to be sharing with them something that's going to be valuable to them, or am I just annoying and bothering them? Especially if you are running a home-based business and you have not ever been in business for yourself before, you've never found yourself in a sales or marketing role, it can be very easy to fall into that kind of mindset of not wanting to follow up with people because you don't want to feel like you're bothering them. And I get that, but let me give you some information. Let me share with you some really interesting statistics around follow up. Number one, only about 2 to 5% of sales are made on the first contact. And we're not talking about super simple e-commerce sales or low ticket sales. We are talking about more meaningful sales, higher ticket items, coaching programs, more expensive products, things that people have to have a little bit more consideration with. There are a lot of things that people just impulse buy, a $7 lead magnet or even a $25 lead magnet, somebody might impulse buy. But that's why we have retargeting, because we see so many of those sales come around after the first time someone's been to one of your landing pages, right? So the sales do not necessarily happen even in the second or the third or the fourth follow up. And because of that, we need to recognize where our prospect is in the buying time frame, in what I like to call the authority frame or the buying pocket. So you are maintaining an authority frame with your prospect by being the person that has knowledge, information, and solutions for them to their unique problems that your business or service solves. We know that for sure. But we also know that our job in the process of bringing someone into our opportunity or our business or our clientele is to allow them to see that we have that tool that can solve their problem for them. Sometimes that takes a little bit of thinking on that person's end. They have to be ready to make a buying decision. So you're trying to pull them into the buying pocket, but on the other side of the buying pocket, there's these invisible back doors. And those invisible back doors are where objections can become an issue or become part of the process of helping someone overcome them. Typical responses can be things like, I don't have enough time. I don't have enough money. I need to ask my spouse. I need to do some more research. I need to look at other competitors. Those are things that people might have as back doors into them moving away from your offer and either moving to no offer at all, no solution, or moving to a solution that is not yours. And that's not what we want to have happen. Instead, we want to follow up with them with a few things in mind. And I'm going to give you some key ideas when it comes to follow up here in this lesson tonight or this live broadcast tonight. But I also want to give you a little bit of the philosophy of follow up, because if you haven't done it before, then you may not have the context around it, and the tools that I'm going to introduce you to kind of become meaningless. So 5 key components to, I think I said in my email there were 4, so I didn't lie, I just got the number wrong. There are 5 key components to following up. The first one is environment. I have told you again and again, and I will continue to say, even as I sit here and stream to all of you live through Facebook, none of us own this Facebook environment. And at any point in time, the rules can change and it can become harder for us to be in touch with the people we want to be in touch with. I think Facebook wants us to continue to contact people, but if we really want to make sure that we have the ability to do that, we need to have an environment where we're managing our leads and managing our follow-up. Typically, that's going to be through text messaging and or email. You can certainly use messenger platforms like the one here on Facebook or Instagram. You can also use that same type of messaging in LinkedIn, or you may be using a messaging tool like a WhatsApp or something along those lines. But recognize you don't own those platforms. So one of your goals is to get your leads contact information so you can follow up with them where they are. That's the environment that you're creating. So ask yourself, what is going to be my environment for following up, and how am I managing my data? At some point, I'd love to share with you some thoughts on systems and thoughts on low cost and even free systems that can help support you as you grow your side gig into that full-time business that you may be looking for, or to just make it a really highly functioning side gig that gives you a continued and consistent revenue into your family and into your life. So idea number one, environment. Idea number two is frequency. How often do I follow up with the people that I need to follow up with? Great question. In today's day and age, as soon as someone has shared with you, raised their hand and said, I might be interested in that, they have an expectation for immediate follow-up. So you need to be following up with them immediately. And to me, immediately is a 24-hour window. But the faster that you can follow up with someone, the more likely that you are going to be to get to offer them your product or service and to close them as a new client, member of your team, or purchaser of your product. So make sure that you have a mechanism in place to be able to follow up with people immediately. For example, don't do a live webinar on a Friday night when you know you're going to be gone for the weekend and you can't follow up with people. Not a good idea. Do that when you have the time to follow up. And if you're doing big events, or if you're doing big marketing campaigns or big pushes in your business, schedule the time into your calendar for that follow up, because it's going to be necessary. You don't want to not have time to nurture the relationships and to provide the value for the people that you're meeting with or that you're talking to, because your calendar doesn't have an opening in it for you to do that. So first, we've got environment. Secondly, we've got frequency. Third, we've got method. What is the method that you're going to use? Are you going to use email? Are you going to use text message? What is it you're going to use? And I realize I've only told you about immediate follow-up. So I get so excited about this topic, I kind of bounce around here a little bit. So after you've immediately followed up with someone, well, then what? How frequently should you follow up with them in the days, weeks, and months to come? The rule of thumb that I have learned from one of my mentors is to follow up with someone daily and for the first few days, anywhere from 3 to 7 days, depending on the cadence of what works well for you and what you can test in your business. But that follow-up should not be only, hey, are you ready to buy yet? Hey, are you ready to sign up yet? Hey, are you ready to be my next client yet? Hey, are you ready to buy? Are you ready to spend money? No, it should initially be, thank you so much for your interest. Here's a little bit more information. Then it should be, I thought of you, and here's a little bit more value that I can provide. Maybe that's an article. Maybe that's a freebie. Maybe that's something that based on your conversation or interaction with that lead would be very meaningful for them. This is an opportunity to make the relationship deeper and for them to recognize value beyond the initial offer that you gave to them. Of course, it's okay to ask them if they're ready for that next step or if they're ready to get started, especially if there is any kind of time constraint to their purchase. But if there is no time constraint, don't make one up. Don't make up time constraints or price constraints just so that you can have them. Find other ways to create urgency for the person that's based in their need. Okay, so those are going to be your first 3 to 5, maybe 7 days. Then after that, I think you need to follow up with people about once a week. And that kind of follow-up should not necessarily, again, be the buy my thing, buy my thing, buy my thing. It should be meaningful content that you're providing to them with a goal of staying top of mind as a solution provider to something that they are looking for. This could be a promotion. It could be a free webinar. It could be a free class. It could be a downloadable PDF. It could be a link to a website. It could be a recommendation of a book. It could be a latest blog article or podcast or live video that you're doing. Where can you provide that value? And then after a week, you want to make sure, after doing weekly for 3 to 4 weeks, you want to make sure that the people on your list are hearing from you no less frequently than once a month. Your goal is to stay top of mind and provide value until such time that the person has had a change in their life where they have either overcome the objection that they once had, or where the discomfort that they're experiencing is great enough for them to make the buying decision that you asked them to make in the first place. Typically, something has to change in that person's life or environment before they're going to say yes to you. This is a great chance to retarget them, but also to provide increasing value and increasing depth to the relationship. So that's frequency. So you've got environment, you've got frequency, then you've got method. What is the method that you're going to use? That's just the tool. Is it going to be email? Is it going to be messenger? Is it going to be a combination of both? Is it text? What SMS? Like, what is it that you're going to use to follow up with people? That's your third step. And the more automation that you can put into there leads us into our fourth step, which is systems. What kind of systems do you have in place in order to make that follow-up less arduous for you without losing the personal touch? So when it comes to follow-up, there are great systems out there. I happen to use one that I absolutely love. So if you're looking for a CRM system that allows you to text, that allows you to message, have a calendar, and those types of things, and you'd like to do a walkthrough of the system that I use, I'd be happy to share that with you because I found it incredibly valuable and incredibly affordable as well. It's an all-in-one system where I can build my funnels and my website and manage all of my leads across multiple accounts inside of a single system. And like I said, it's an affordable monthly expense for nearly every business owner. So what system are you using and how are you making sure to maximize it? So if you want to send a follow-up message about, this episode tonight gets turned into a podcast and everyone that I have on my email list will get a notification in a couple of days that says, hey, check out this latest podcast of Home-Based Business 101. You can listen to it here, or you can, go find it live in our group. Great, that's valuable information. I'm just letting people know the content exists. They can come check it out. They can come find it. It's fantastic. So make sure that you've got that automation set up. Otherwise, you are going to be drowning in the minutia of following up with all of the people that you need to follow up with. Now, this doesn't mean that some of your follow-up won't be personalized, especially when somebody is newly engaging with you and newly looking at your product, service, or opportunity. You want that communication to be highly personalized because maybe you've just talked to them or maybe you've just been messaging with them. But over time, they're going to grow into receiving more of those automated messages from you. So you want to make sure that you have a system in place. And then the last thing that you want to make sure is that you have the right mindset around follow-up. And you might think that that's a funny thing to, include in my list of top 5 things that you've got to know in order to follow up and not feel like a sleazeball. But this is really where the sleazeball piece comes in. And the mindset that I want you to have around follow-up and that I want you to learn and to bring into your business is a mindset of service and a mindset of what I like to call permission-based marketing. So here's how it works. Each time you end a conversation or an engagement with someone, you should know what the next step is going to be, and you should openly communicate to that person what the next step is. So each time before you pick up that phone, before you send that text message, before you send that email out, you need to know what the call to action is in that message. What is it you would like your lead or your prospect to do next? Do you want them to book a call with you? Do you want them to buy your item? Do you want them to register for the webinar? Do you want them to, purchase your product? Do you want them to reorder your product? Do you want them to use a promo code? What is it you want them to do? You've got to have a call to action. And then you need to have some processes in place and some verbiage in your vernacular that you can use on the regular to help people move to that next step. Because you see, when somebody's in this consideration phase of the buying cycle, they're looking for your leadership. They're looking for value. They're evaluating whether they want to do business with you. But you're really in the position to help lead that person through the buying decision. When I first graduated from university, I sold insurance. I actually worked part-time in an insurance office and was a licensed property casualty life and disability agent before I even graduated from university. But after I graduated, I stepped into that career for a couple of years full-time. And insurance is confusing, especially when it gets into life insurance and health insurance. And a lot of people buy those products without really knowing what they're getting. But people have a different level of knowledge that they need in order to feel comfortable with the buying decision. So what I would say to people is it's my job to help you get enough information to make an informed decision about how to protect your family. It's my job to help you get enough information in order to make an educated decision to protect your family. For some people, they would be like, yeah, no, I don't need the details. I know what I need. I know what I want. I'm ready to sign on the line. Other people would have question after question after question. I was there in service of those individuals, and I was there to get them the information until they felt comfortable making the choice, because that is what creates loyalty, and that's what creates the relationship that you want to have with your customers. So asking them questions in the follow-up process is critical. Have I answered your questions? Do you need any further information? What questions do you have? What did you like best? If we have option 1, option 2, or option 3, where are you leaning? Which option most interests you? Can you tell me why? Are you looking at any other options? Tell me a little bit about them. So by going through that process and asking these questions, you're able to help that person verbalize, and you're able to help that person really process their own buying decision by hearing them go through that. So, and this is mainly for sales that are being done over the phone or Zoom or Messenger that are more highly personalized. We're not really talking about like e-commerce checkout here and things along those lines. That those follow-ups and those sales methodologies are different. That's about page layout and design and clicks and all those kinds of things. So here we're talking a little bit more about service and or product sales that require a more hands-on approach. So for all you coaches out there, for all you network marketers out there, for all of you that are selling courses or selling things that are education-based, content-based, this really applies to you. So now that you've said to them, can I help you? Do I understand? One of my favorite things to say is to ask someone, so are you ready to get started? Are you ready to become a client? Are you ready to begin the program? Are you ready for whatever it is you're offering them? And if they say, yes, I am, great, then go ahead and take that next step. And if they say no, they're going to give you their objections and they're going to let you know why. Then listen some more. Okay, so this is where follow-up really does become part of the sales process, because now you've listened a little bit more and you know that value to provide to them. Here's what I want you to understand about permission-based marketing. You want to make sure whichever interaction you have with someone, you are setting up the next interaction. You do not ever want to let somebody go without setting up the next touch point. So if you're sending them more information for them to consider, you want to say, when will you have a chance to look at that? I know you may have more questions and I want to be here for you. They say, oh, I'll look at it over the weekend. You say, great. So when would it feel better for me to follow up with you? Monday evening or Tuesday morning? I refer to this as the beans and broccoli approach. I have a 9-year-old. He actually does eat a lot of vegetables, but I don't offer him choices that I am not comfortable with. So tonight for dinner, I might say to him, hey, Marshall, do you want green beans or broccoli with your dinner tonight? It doesn't matter to me which one he picks. It just matters to me that he eats a vegetable. So does it matter to you if you meet with your client prospect on Monday night or Tuesday morning? No, those are both good times for you, but you're letting them know what the next step is and you're giving them a choice. And you're also asking them specifically what would feel best for you. Not, so when can we meet again? Question mark. Oh, I don't know. Next week's pretty busy. Like then I'm going on vacation. Then I'm doing this. Then I'm doing that. The open-ended question is the death nail to you moving somebody forward in your business. You need to give them options. You need to give them options that are appropriate to you, that work for you, and you need to tell them what that next step is and why they need to take it when they do. So, great. Monday night. Awesome. I'm really looking forward to seeing you then. And then on Monday, you're going to send them a little text message that says, hey, looking forward to seeing you tonight, so that they don't no-show you, so that you make sure that you're staying engaged with them, whatever it may be. Or if they tell you, yeah, I'm going to enroll on Monday, you say, great, I'll look for your enrollment on Monday. You don't get the enrollment on Monday, you follow up with them on Tuesday. Instead of saying, hey, I didn't get your enrollment yesterday, you say, hey, thinking of you today, is everything okay? How do you know that something hasn't gone awry, especially in this day and age right now with everything we have going on? Hey, just checking in, want to make sure you are okay and that you don't have any additional questions about your enrollment. Great, especially if they made a commitment and to buy and they haven't done that. That's not being pushy at all. If they say they need to think about it a little bit, say, awesome, when would it feel good for me to reach back out to you? Always asking permission. So if they say, well, give me a week, I need a week to think about it, great. I've got some time next Friday, or maybe you're just going to give them a call. I've got some time next Friday. So if I were to call you Friday afternoon, or would Saturday morning work better? Okay, Saturday morning, awesome. Look forward to talking to you then. So now next Saturday, when you follow up with them, all you are doing is what they asked you to do. They said, yes, it feels good for you to follow up with me on Saturday. Now your job becomes really, really easy. All you're doing is fulfilling a promise that you made to them to follow up with them when they asked you to, which is a heck of a lot better than sitting there going, oh my gosh, yeah, Sally, she asked me for some more information, but I'm not really sure when she's going to look at it. She probably doesn't even really like me anyway. I'm not even sure she really wants this. And you start doing all of this second guessing and all of this backpedaling. It doesn't make sense. You need to maintain the authority. You need to control the conversation. You need to be a leader, and you need to show the person what the next step is. And you need to ask them if that next step is okay with them. If it is, they will say yes. If it isn't, they will tell you. And then you can come up with the next best option for them. So the mindset around follow-up is, I am in service to you. I am going to help you get the information that you need in order to make a good decision. I'm going to help you make that decision expeditiously. And I am going to ask your permission for each of the steps of follow-up in this process. I am not ever going to leave a conversation without knowing what the next steps are, because I value my time and I value my prospects' time too. Those are the absolute keys to following up without feeling like a sleaze, because you are laying out exactly what is going to happen. There are no secrets. There is no pushiness. There is simply fulfilling promises that were made in conversations, which shows that you're a pro and shows that you truly, because you do care about the prospect, it gives you an opportunity to share that. And that alone is going to be something that's going to allow you to stand out more than anybody else that this person is probably considering doing business with. So that is everything that I had to share with all of you tonight on Home-Based Business 101, how to follow up without feeling like a sleaze. I am Meredith Banka, founder of the Side Gig Gurus and host of Home-Based Business 101. If you want to find me and connect with me, chat about your business, I do offer free complimentary discovery calls where we can see where you're stuck, get you unstuck, and potentially plug you into some great tools, some free tools that I have available, as well as learning about the different programs that I offer. You can go to meredithbanka.com, check them out, and book your free discovery session with me there. Looking forward to seeing y'all next week. Take care, and we'll see you soon. Bye-bye.